Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Priscilla. I'm the owner of A Life Full of Simplicity. Today will be my April reflections video. This is the video that I talk about the decks that I used for the month, any specific YouTube videos that I may have enjoyed and have caught my eye that I wanted to discuss. And then any books that I read or anything new as well that I brought into my collection in terms of decks or books. So I want to start off with the two decks that I used as my primary decks for the month of April. So that is the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy or Paulina Faye. And this is published by US Games. And then I paired it with When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck by Melissa Silvaggio and Jess O'Connor. And this is also published by US Games. And that's actually pretty funny. I didn't realize that they're both US game decks, and I paired them together. Anywho, so yes, these are unboxed on my channel. I will leave them linked down below for you to check out. So I paired these together for my daily readings. And I'm actually really proud of myself this month when it comes to my daily readings, because I actually didn't miss one day. In the past, I have done daily readings, but I have missed days and things have come up and I wouldn't do them or I was too tired. And this particular month, I literally did them every single day. I decided not to do them on my phone anymore. I was using an app to write down my reading. And I decided not to do that starting this month. And I actually took a bullet journaling notebook and wrote my readings in there for the month. And I absolutely love this deck. Let me actually zoom you in a bit more. So yes, I absolutely love the pairing. The colors are very similar. The messages were really good. Honestly, I got some great readings out of using these together for my daily pulls. And the first week, I actually just used a basic, I believe it was Focus. Let me check actually. First week I did a Focus, and then I would, depending on the oracle that I pulled, I would then ask some questions in regards to that. So for example, for the fourth, I got Balance as the focus, and then I asked like what I'm neglecting, and then I asked, how can I get back on track? This is a method that Lisa uses, and she talked about in one of her, which video was it? It was the How to Read the Tarot, I think. It was like her first one, I think, that she did. I'll try to remember to link it so people can check that out. And I really enjoyed how she did that. So I was like, you know what? I started doing that. When was it? I think it was like after I watched that video, I started doing that. And I liked the progress that came from it. It was very, very, very enjoyable, I have to say. And I enjoy that. But then I decided to switch it up for the rest of the weeks. I saw this spread that I thought was interesting. So I switched it up to this 3-card spread where it was Let Go, Pay Attention, Embrace for Full Growth. So I did Let Go, Tarot, Pay Attention to an oracle card, like for the oracle card, and then Embrace for Full Growth, I did a a tarot again. And then I also looked at the shadow card. And for those of you who don't know, the shadow card is usually the card at the bottom of the deck. So when you turn over the deck, whatever is the last card would be your shadow card, or like shadow energy. So I also looked at that in terms of the tarot. And I really enjoyed that from Monday to Friday. And then when it came to the weekend, I didn't really feel like doing such a long spread for my daily. So instead, I just did a focus with the Oracle, and I looked at the shadow card in the Oracle deck. So I only pulled 2 cards, Saturday and Sunday, and I've been doing that for the last 3 weeks of April, the last 3 weeks of April. So only the first week I did my usual thing that I had been doing and decided to change it up. So yes, I really enjoy this pairing. Absolutely amazing. I think this was one of my favorites that I've enjoyed, to be honest with you. So I've definitely loved this. Then in terms of regular spreads for the month, I did an April tarot spread. With this particular deck, and it actually wasn't by anyone, the spread. I just wrote down different things that I thought would be good. So the spread, I pretty much just made it out of different questions that I thought would be good to explore for like a new month beginning type of thing. And I pretty much just did like an energy for the month, a challenge for the month, how to get through the challenge, and then just a final message for the month. And this reading was actually interesting because I got two 9 cards. So I got the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Wands in my reading. And if we know numerology, 9 is about transition periods and attaining something or nearing completion of something. Of something that we're working towards, which is, I think a great thing with that. And I would definitely say that there is a transition period, though it's not over. Like with my work, for example, I'm transitioning departments. So that was interesting. Found that out in the beginning of the month. No news on when that's happening though. So like it's a slow process, a slow transition, if you will. And then I also had like some delays, like some messages about delays and things like that. That was actually one of the challenges, that there would be delays in something. And I definitely saw that this month, in the month of April, in terms of there being delays, or me not working towards certain things due to other things coming up, which was interesting. So I definitely think that the reading that I got was definitely a great one in terms of this particular deck. Then I also did a shadow work spread with this deck as well, which I don't typically do. Usually I use my Wild Unknown, but I felt in the mood to use this deck instead. And I pretty much I made up questions again. It was really just how to focus on my emotions, what challenges could I encounter, and then like steps to work through the challenge. For the steps, I pulled like 3 cards. And funnily enough, I ended up pulling the Devil card from this deck. And the Devil is called the Shadow in this deck. So I definitely felt like there was like a synchronicity in that regard with this particular deck, because it's a shadow work spread talking about the shadow, and you're pulling the shadow card. Like, I thought that was really interesting. Like, very interesting, actually. And then what else did I do? I did also a Venus and Pisces spread that I created because I couldn't find one. And I used this deck as well. And it was really how to connect more with my imagination and creativity, how I could be more confident, it was how I could connect more with my imagination and creativity. And then I did a follow-up question for that specific question, like a clarifier, because it was telling me self-confidence and things like that. So I followed up with how can I be more confident? And then the second question was how I can connect more with the people I love. And then the last question was, how can I quiet the distractions that may challenge inner and outer connections? So that was the spread that I did with one clarifier. Then I did like a spring equinox spread because I hadn't done one during the actual spring equinox. So I did this one by Cosmic Wheel Mystic. Very interesting. You had to do a top of deck, bottom of deck card. So shuffle, take the first card on the top and the shadow card at the bottom. And then you had to find the Empress card in the deck and take the card in front of it and behind it. So the question for the top of the deck was spring cleaning, so something to let go of. The bottom was light, something to embrace, which I thought was very interesting in my opinion. I personally would have switched them, but I thought that was interesting. And then for the card in front of the Empress, it was about growth. So what is sprouting in my life right now? And the card behind of the Empress, it was evolution. So what the sprouting needs to flourish. Very interesting spread. I did enjoy it. It was a great reading, in my opinion. Definitely noticed some like synchronicities in terms of numerology, because the numbers were decreasing rather than increasing. So I thought that was interesting, and I made note of that. Then after that, I didn't do any other particular readings with this deck. There was a few that I wanted to do, couldn't find spreads on, wasn't in the mood to make the spread myself, to be honest with you. So yes, I didn't do any other particular spreads with that. But I did want to share... So I'm not actually going to share the readings that I got for the month, the daily readings that I did, obviously. But I have been keeping a tracker on all the cards that were duplicated. So cards that I received more than once over the course of the 4 weeks of April. So these are some of the Oracle cards that I received: balance, motivate, manifestation, manifest, receptivity, and clarity. I am pretty sure I received these all twice. So all of these cards came to me twice over the course of the 4 weeks. Then we had some major cards that kept popping up. The wheel, the tower. I believe I got the wheel 3 times and the tower twice. I did make note that from April 4th to the 10th, this week in particular was mostly majors. So I actually received a lot of majors this particular week, but nothing repeating except for these 2 cards. Then for wands, I only had 1 card repeating, and it was the 5 of wands. I think I only got this twice. Then for cups, I had 6 of cups, page of cups, and knight of cups. These were all the cards that were repeating. Again, these were all 2 times. I only got these twice. Then for swords, I got the 4 of swords repeating. This, I believe, I got 3 times. And then I made note again that from April 18th to the 24th, this particular week was mostly a swords week. So I got a lot of swords cards during this week. Then for pentacles, I put down 5 of pentacles, 4 of pentacles, 10 of pentacles, and the page of pentacles. The most that I've got was the 5 and 10. The 5, I don't know, was like haunting me for weeks. I got it like 4 times, I think, or 5 times or something like that. And then I had the 10 of Pentacles, which I believe was 4 times. And then 4 of Pentacles was twice. Page of Pentacles was 3 times, I believe. And then again, I made another note with April 11th to the 17th, which was mostly a Pentacles week. I received a lot of Pentacle cards that particular week. So I really enjoyed this concept of having a tracker for the cards that kept coming at me and thought it was really interesting, especially making note when I had a week that was particularly one suit or another focused. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, that was my bullet journal. So next we're going to move on to my moon decks. So we have the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. This is a Liminal 11 publication. Then we have the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards, which are by Yasmin Boland, and the artwork is by Lori Mena. This is a Hay House publication. Both of these are unboxed on my channel. I will leave links down below for them. So I really enjoy this combination, honestly. I've enjoyed working with this particular deck so much, actually. I'm in love with this deck, honestly. I really am. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The readings that I get from it when I do my moon readings have been phenomenal. They have been phenomenal, and I love them so much. Oh, I don't need the book. Let's put that back. So yeah, I only use this for moon readings, this pairing, and I've definitely enjoyed the last few months that I have been using this for moon readings, because they just pair so well together. And my process when it comes to doing moon readings is typically just to pull the actual moon card that is represented by that particular moon. So in the example that I will share from my reading this month, if I can find it. So I did a new moon in Aries reading. That was the first reading that I did. And I typically just pull the card from this particular deck. In this case, it was the new moon in Aries, which was the Go For It card. That was the message, the little message here that was on the card. And then I write my little, interpretation on that. And then I'll write down the affirmation that's in the book. And in this case, it was, I am on the right track. And typically what I do after that with this deck is I'll do a sigil for that moon phase. Sometimes I'll do it based on the information here, and then other times it'll be based on the affirmation. So in this case, it was based on the affirmation, and this was the sigil that I created from that. And I really enjoy generally creating my sigils for the moon. I find them very fun and very relaxing. And I absolutely love this deck so much. The readings that I get from it are so intuitive and give me so much information on things that I may need to be working on. Some things that I need to be focusing on in terms of that particular moon phase that I'm working with. So I really, really enjoy working with this, and the artwork is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it so much. So I did the new moon reading. Which one did I do? I did one by Emerald Lotus Divination, and the questions were, you know, a card to represent the new moon energy, and then a new pathway that shines for me right now. Then we have how can I start to follow this path? Question 4 was, where will this new pathway lead me? And lastly, is something I'm leaving in my past. So it was a 5-card spread. Very interesting. I love this Ace of Pentacles. Absolutely. My favorite out of all the aces in this deck is this one. I love all the aces, but I love it. Like, look at the little character. And they all have little characters in them. But this one is like, the other ones you can see them right away. Like, you can catch them right away. But this one you really need to look for it because she's in the leaves, which I absolutely love. But I absolutely love this deck, and I really enjoyed my reading, honestly. Definitely need to focus more on like gaining knowledge and like putting that knowledge into action, pretty much. So that's really what I got with that new moon reading. Just generally speaking, it was absolutely amazing, and I love this High Priestess card. It's amazing. I actually got this card to represent my energy. So that's funny. I actually love this. You can definitely feel that inner knowledge, that inner knowing, that intuition, that gut feeling that you need to be listening to with this card, and I absolutely love it. So yes. For May, however, I won't be using this combination. I wanted to make sure that I'm using other decks in my collection, so I'm going to be switching it up for May with 2 other moon decks, but I may come back to this if those don't work for me. Let's see, what else did I do? I also did a first quarter in Cancer reading. This reading I made up, so it was only a 2-card, well, it was 2 cards from here and then the 1 card from here. I just pretty much did like, how can I push through doubts to attain my goals, and then I did a shadow card. My first quarter was reading was very lazy, which is fine with me, to be honest with you. Then I did a full moon reading for Libra, and I used the spread that was provided by Liminal 11. So they provided a Libra spread that I really enjoyed. And let me show you my so it's find balance and set boundaries was what I decided to go with in terms of that, and this was my sigil as a result of that, which I really enjoyed. So pretty much the last spread that I did, which was the Liminal 11 one, it was pretty much 1 and 2 were like what needs to be brought back into harmony, and they were placed like as if it was like a scale, you know, a scale, one on top of the other, like far. And then, you know, question 3 was, you know, what is the root of this conflict in my life? 4 was, what action can I take to restore harmony? And then lastly, you know, a healing message from the pink moon in Libra. And I definitely enjoyed the reading a lot. I felt like I got a lot of interesting information from it. Especially just like a reminder that, you know, you shouldn't focus too much on other people and what other people are doing, and just focus on enjoying what you're doing and what it is you're working towards and what you're enjoying, really, just generally speaking in that regard, which was a really good reminder, because sometimes, you know, when you do this kind of stuff, you focus sometimes too much on being like others and focusing too much on what other people are doing, and it was a good reminder in that particular regard. Now, in regards to any other readings that I did nothing else. I think those were the only ones. So really, in terms of readings, I used these 2 decks and then the Spirit Song for just regular reading that I did in my practice. Now, in April, I got this deck, so I had pre-ordered it. This is the Seasons of the Witch, a Beltane Oracle by Lorianne Anderson, Juliette Diaz, and illustrated by Giada Rose. It is a Rockpool publication, as you can see there. And I received it in April. I pre-ordered it, received it in April, and decided that I wanted to use it for my daily pulls for 1 week. And I decided I wanted to pair it with the Botanica Tarot. And I wanted to see how it paired because I was thinking maybe in May, this is the pairing that I would do. I just hit my camera. Apologies. And so yeah, I use it for 1 week. The unboxings of both of these are on my channel. There is an update written in the comments that I pinned for this particular deck. So my initial review was that there was some like horrible problems with the deck, and I was very vocal about that, but the author reached out and told me to contact the publisher, and the publisher sent me a new copy of the cards. So yes, I did update the comments to let everyone know that what it was that I experienced is not supposed to be. Anyway, we had a conversation in the comments as well, so you can definitely check that out as well. I'll leave both of them linked below. So yes, for April, what was it? April 11th to the 17th, I used these particular decks together. And I absolutely love them together. They pair so beautifully and they work so well. Look how this is beautiful. Honestly, I have to say, this is beautiful. And I did my, let go, pay attention, embrace for growth shadow card spread. And I absolutely love this deck. This is probably my favorite one out of the 3, and I do have all 3. And someone did request a comparison of the 3 decks, so I will film that at some point and put it up. But I just really enjoyed the readings that I got from this particular deck for that week. And I decided that these are going to be my decks for May. These are going to be one of my main decks for the first 2 weeks at least, to work with more and to do readings with, because I found it absolutely beautiful. And I think I love this deck a lot because it has to do with, a lot of it has to do with, growth and that planting the seed energy to, for something to come out of it, pretty much. And I just really enjoy how these work together. The colors work. I found that the fact that it's mostly like black space with just like the plant and everything worked well, and it didn't take away from the Oracle card, which was great. So we have some of the pinks that you see in the background. We have that gold that you see on him, which is really nice. These 2 also go well. We have that blue. We have also that kind of pink tones as well that you would see here, green, that go in. So these actually work really well together, in my opinion. Then we have some more of that orange and yellow tones. these work well also. So yes, I really enjoyed this pairing, and definitely going to be focusing on this particular pairing for the first 2 weeks of May, as well as a few other readings that I want to do. So really excited for this particular pairing. So in April, I was supposed to continue my study of the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, and then continue the challenge that I was doing to get to know better the Mystical Medleys Tarot. I was so busy in April that I did neither of those things. Now, I'm one that I have learned by now not to put pressure on myself, and not to feel bad if I don't get through something in particular that I said that I was going to do. So, whatever it is, what it is, life is life, So I didn't continue this. I don't know when I'll be continuing it. I do have a lot of things coming up, so hopefully I'll be able to continue this and whatnot. Now, I will continue the challenge at some point, but in May, this was requested for my Cozy Tarot Sunday readings, which you don't know. If you don't know, those are my Sunday week ahead readings that I post. So I will also be getting to know this deck through that. I did do some of the spreads, but not all of them. I didn't finish all of them. So hopefully I'll get back to that soon. But for now, I'm just going to be content with using it for my Sunday spreads and doing some fun things in that regard. So yes, those were those two other decks that I talked about last month. Then for April, aside from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, I also picked up the Divine Feather Messenger deck and book set by Alison DiNicola and David Shearer. I'm not sure how to pronounce the surname. Apologies. I butchered it also in my unboxing. So yes, which is not live yet, but I butchered it in that also. And then I have the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, and by Kinga Britschke. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce surnames. I suck at them. My apologies, honestly. This is a Rockpool publication, and this is a US Games publication. So I picked these up. They're on sale, lower than what they usually are in terms of pricing. So I was pretty happy and wanted to pick these up. This is a feather deck. It's two-sided, with a feather on one, the bird on the other, and like an affirmation message. And it comes with a guidebook too, which is fantastic. And this one has been on my wish list forever. I have the Queen of the Moon deck by them. And I was really happy to pick this up as well to add to my collection. And it was decently priced for a sale, so I was really happy to pick these up. So I have filmed the unboxings for them. They will come at some point, so I look out for those, and I'm really excited to work with these in my practice, because these are really fun decks. So in regards to books, I have nothing new. I read nothing in April. I did no reading whatsoever. I'm hoping to change that in May. I'm taking part in a book club, so hopefully I can update you next month on a book that we're reading. So we shall see. In terms of YouTube, there's only one video that I want to talk about that I watched in April. No, actually there's two. There's two videos that I want to talk about that I watched in April. The first one was the 3 Fat Readers approved episode on the Fountain Tarot. Now that deck has been in and out of my wish list. In and out of my wish list for I don't even know how long. And I recently, after watching that video, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to put it back on my wish list. They were talking about how it's very masculine energy and whatnot, and I don't really have that many decks in my collection that exude that kind of energy. And I enjoyed what they were saying about, it's more masculine, like it feels more masculine in terms of like the colors and, I guess the drawings and everything just feel more of that masculine energy, and I kind of enjoy that. So I put it back on my wish list. I'm hoping to pick that up at some point, but yes, it's on my wish list again. And I also want to pick up the journal that goes with it. I think it would help probably to connect with the deck more. So I'm definitely excited for that. And I definitely enjoy that video as well. I will link it as well for people to go check out. The second video was the first role-playing the tarot that Lisa Pappas did on her channel with her wife Peggy, and then some other people, other YouTubers or other people from the Facebook group that Lisa has joined in on that. I unfortunately wasn't able to see it live. I know that she has another one coming up sometime in May, so you can definitely go subscribe to her if you're not already to find out when that is. I believe she posted it in her community post. So I'm excited. I watched it. Very exciting. Very fun. It was definitely interesting. I think that I want to try and be able to join in on the chat and try to join in on doing like a mission in the chat or whatever as like an audience participant. I don't know if I would want to take part as a player on screen, like, being on camera and everything. Me role-playing, I've never done that. I've never role-played anything. I've never played any kind of role-playing games. So I want to watch it some more and see maybe if this time it's open to other people who haven't played yet and see how they get along with it, because I do take part in Peggy's, quarterly, the solstices and the equinox 6-hour party events. And those are okay because we're not playing, well, they did play a game last time. Unfortunately, I went to eat because I was hungry. But yeah, games, I don't know. I'm just, I'm a total introvert. I'm very shy. So just like taking part in those events is already outside my comfort zone. Imagine taking part in this where you have to like be a whole different character. You have to like, I don't know, sort of keep that character, I guess. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure they'll do a lot of those events, and then maybe eventually I'll take part in one and see how it goes. But it looks really fun. I definitely suggest checking out the first video because it was a really fun. It was a fun watch. Even if you weren't taking part, it was a fun watch. So yes, those were. Let's put this all back here. Okay, I'll do that and then should be good enough since there's too many things to put. So I do thank you so much for watching my April reflections. Let me know in the comments, decks that you used in April, how you got along with them, any new things that you brought into your collection, any books that you read, any new books that you brought into your collection, any YouTube videos that you think would be interesting for me to check out. Let me know in the comments. We have a good time. We always, talk and share and have some fun conversations, which is always great. So yes, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I have a lot coming, and don't forget to turn on that bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video. Again, I do have TikTok now, so definitely check that out. It'll be linked in the description box below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much and have a great day.